Weekly Astrology Horoscope for September the 30th through the 6th of October. Welcome, dear friends. Today I would like to present you the upcoming weekly horoscope. And this week the main topic is Pluto. We are going to talk about which are the different Pluto energies, Scorpio energies around us, how we can use it. As usual, you will also find the daily horoscopes, and I will include timestamps so that you can always come back during the week and listen to the particular daily horoscope. We are going to begin with the most important things. Why I'm saying that basically this week is colored by the Pluto Scorpio energy. First of all, Pluto is being stationary and turning to direct motion. So, of course, these are one of the most intense periods. Also, we are going to have the moon in Scorpio at the beginning of the week. Also, Venus will square Pluto. And at the end of the week, the moon will make conjunction with Pluto. So, through the whole week, more or less, we have this Pluto energy surrounding us. And which are the different sides of this? From one side, the positives are that we can transform something in our lives, that we may feel empowered, we may feel stronger, more passionate about doing something, achieving something. It could be a goal, it could be, start doing something, transforming something, whatever. For different people, of course, we can expect different types of transformation. However, the mutual thing is that it's time for a deep internal change. Don't forget that before you can change something around you in the outer world, it always starts from within. And Pluto allows us, to bring those secret things, those subconscious things to the surface, bring light to them, and then dissolve them or transform them or work with them in a more productive way. So from a psychological, emotional perspective, the week can be very, very intense. And you may use it if you want to dive deeper into your spiritual practice, for example, or you may need some extra motivation to do something in regards to your business, maybe. Whatever the case is, use this, power, which it kind of looks like an external power, but at the same time it's coming from within. So it's really interesting, and I think that it feels mostly like, we are channeling this energy that comes from somewhere else, but at the same time, it's also part of us, and we can narrow it in a concrete direction in a constructive way. So transformations, exploring something, working on something from a psychological perspective, especially when it comes to some kind of trauma or some bad experience that we have been through. Well, now we can heal that, we can transform it. And yes, Pluto can really bring healing. We know that some healing processes, usually the really deep healing processes actually, at first they can be painful. The wound is open, but first you have to see it. You have to pay attention to it. You have to, bring your focus there. And yes, it may hurt, but by bringing awareness, by taking some concrete actions, and doing whatever necessary in your particular case, you might be able to heal that, to turn the process, especially when it comes to some kind of internal transformation that you might have been through while Pluto used to be retrograde, during the last couple of months. Well, now those internal transformations and changes might be visible to other people, or you might be able to use them to transform things around you as well. Visible things, material things. So there is lots of focus here. especially for Capricorns, but also for the other cardinal signs, Cancer, Aries, and Libra, especially for you guys, especially if you have your Sun, Ascendant, or another planet basically between the 20th degree and the 30th degree approximately. You know, you may really feel these deep transformations within you, and now they might be visible for others, or you might take this and, you know, bring it into a concrete form around you. So that's the positive manifestation: empowerment, desire to transform something. Also, as we said, ability to focus, the ability to concentrate. Now, we also have some challenging aspects related to Pluto. So this might be kind of, you know, manifested in a more disharmonious way, meaning that, you know, we might be extremely focused on something to the point that we may actually get kind of obsessed about it. But remember that these are also the opportunities to make a real change. You know, changes, real transformations, they occur when we have challenging aspects. So through effort, through work, through bringing more awareness, we can manifest those changes that we really need. And from the challenging side, you know, Pluto, as we said, sometimes brings too much obsession, too much worry, or it might be difficult for us to make compromises. You know, we may really insist on our opinion. We may desperately want to do something, and we may not want to be, you know, flexible, maybe to see other options, maybe to listen to other people. So that's the challenging side, basically, lack of desire to compromise, you know, using too much strength, even when it's not really necessary, you know, too much force in some ways. So be extra careful during this week of how you're treating other people, how you're expressing your desires, what kind of actions you're taking. And also if other people are responding to you, you know, in a way which is not very comfortable, just be aware of that. We have lots of Pluto energies around us. Everyone can be kind of more sensitive when it comes to power, when it comes to control, including self-control or controlling our lives. So, you know, just be aware of that, let it go, and try to use it in the positive way, you know, to basically change something that you really want to. So, more or less through the week, that's the main topic. The most intense day is Thursday, the 3rd of October, because that's the exact day when Pluto is turning from retrograde to direct motion. The other important events during this week: Mars and Mercury are ingressing in new signs, both at the same time, also happening on Thursday together with the Pluto change. So Thursday, basically the middle of the week, is really the most intense day with, you know, the biggest transformations. Mercury is entering Scorpio, so this is another Pluto energy. You know, Pluto is ruling Scorpio, so Mercury ingressing into Pluto sign can bring more passion, more focus into something, you know, diving deeper, exploring. So when it comes to work, research, you know, this position can be very helpful. Also, it can increase our intuition, you know, especially if we have it by nature. Of course, you know, if that's something that is kind of a resource for us, then we have more access to it. So more intuition, you know, also possibly revealing some kind of secrets, revealing some kind of, you know, things we haven't been familiar with. You know, Pluto and this time, you know, Mercury in Pluto sign allows you to kind of scan people and see through them, meaning that, you know, you can get a clear idea about their real motivation, why they're doing something, why are they saying something, why they're behaving in certain way. So Mercury in Scorpio really brings this internal knowledge or ability to understand people as who they truly are. Now, on the challenging side, this position can also make us more suspicious. So we may tend to see more the negatives. Well, why is this person doing something? What's the secret motivation here? You know, this may tend to be like, you know, a downside of this position. But we can also use it to transform something when it comes to our mind, our ideas, the way we are thinking, the way we are connecting, the way we are communicating with other people. So, as usual, everything can be positive or challenging depending on how we are using it. And another positive side of Mercury in Scorpio is when we are using it for planning something in terms of finances. Those can be, you know, some kind of investments, those can be some kind of, you know, other important tasks that we need to plan or accomplish. So finances can be one of the, you know, important areas of our life. Now, I would also like to mention that Mercury is going to be retrograde in Scorpio next month, basically from the very end of October. Yes, so approximately a month from now, Mercury is going to be retrograde in Scorpio. So keep in mind that Mercury is entering this shadow zone, and this means that things we are kind of starting during the next 1 month or planning later on, when Mercury really turns retrograde, those things may need to be reevaluated, or they may go through some kind of change. So just be aware of that. And actually, you may find more information how this can impact your own sign in my monthly horoscopes for October. You will find them on my channel. And the other important ingression is the ingression of Mars. Mars, which enters Libra, also on Thursday. Mars in Libra is not very powerful. Actually, that's one of the weakest positions for Mars because it rules the opposite sign, Aries. So what does it mean? Well, it means that for the next approximately 2 months, we may need more time to start something. You know, Mars in Libra does not like taking too much risks, or sometimes any risks at all. Also, we may need more support of other people. Remember that Libra is the sign of partnerships. So things that you would like to start, you would like to achieve or do, may need also the support of someone else. It could be an advice, it could be other type of, you know, support, but don't be afraid to ask for it. Don't think that you have to do everything on your own. I know that, at least for me, this is one of the main issues I have, maybe because Mars is kind of accentuated in my chart, and I really feel like, you know, I always have to take care of everything, you know, myself, especially when it comes to work. And that's just not a really productive way of doing things, because the truth is we need other people in our life for one thing or another. We cannot do everything on our own. So when Mars is in Libra, this is kind of a, you know, positive period to remind ourselves that there is nothing wrong with asking help. There is nothing wrong with asking for an advice or someone else to show you how you should do things or what's the best approach, or, you know, just to listen to what other people has to say and use it in a positive way to take more action or do something that you really want. So this is one of the positive manifestations of Mars in Libra. Ask people to show you how you can do something, how you can be better at something. Also, when it comes to partnerships, Mars in Libra can really make us more initiative to start those new relationships, those new partnerships, to kind of feel more empowered when we have someone supporting our back, you know, or being shoulder to shoulder next to us, and you know, together we can do something. I'm pretty sure that we all have an area where we can benefit if we are more open to receive help, and not only to receive but even to ask for help. That's very, very important. Also, as we said, relationships, especially business relationships, because Mars is a very, you know, businessy planet, they can benefit. But also when it comes to personal relationships, you know, you can be more proactive if you want a new relationship, or maybe, you know, you need to push a little bit your partner to do something he wants to do. Why not? And the possible challenges here is that, as usual, you know, Mars is a planet which potentially can bring some confrontations. So we may be sometimes a little bit too pushy with our partners or in our relationships. So just be aware of that. This is not, you know, like highly possible, you know, to confront others, because after all, Mars in Libra is quite friendly. You know, this is not a fire sign, this is an air sign. And air signs, they are more about, you know, the communication, about connections, about exchange of ideas. So there are, you know, smaller chances for confronting others. However, of course, they are there. And if you want to learn more about how Mars can impact your own sign while it's in Libra, you can also find that in my monthly horoscopes for October. Okay, so these are really the most important events. Now we can go through each of the days and, you know, be more specific. Monday, the 30th of September, we have the first Pluto energy surrounding us, and actually in a very powerful way. Major aspect between Venus and Pluto, square aspect. And at the same time, the transit moon is in Scorpio, the sign which is ruled by Pluto. So there is a potential that the energy may not be harmonious around us. And Venus being an emotional planet, Venus, you know, being the planet of how we express our feelings, can bring some drama when it's triggered by Pluto at the same time. So be aware of that. You know, it might be more difficult for us to find this emotional balance. We might go to some extreme polarities, you know. Oh, I really love this. Oh, I should really do this and have this. Or switch to the other polarity. Oh, I hate this so much. I cannot stand it. I don't want to do this. And of course, all of that actually can be related to another person as well, like a partner, a close friend, maybe a coworker. So just be aware of that. We may really be emotionally unstable. At the same time, there might be more jealousy. People may have some trust issues. So it's really a time to be more cautious, to be more aware of our own feelings, and to use them for a transformation. The transit moon in Scorpio is also one of the most tense positions, you know, bringing even more sensitivity, more vulnerability, but this type of vulnerability that, you know, if you are attacked or feel attacked by someone, you kind of want to respond back. Or in order to prevent those attacks, you might attack first, you know. That's kind of a typical pattern for the Scorpio energy. So don't fall into this trap, you know. If you feel like there's too much drama, remember that we are the ones who create this drama. We can transform that, and of course it will all pass reasonably soon. So that's it. Monday, really one of the more unbalanced days. You know, sometimes we have to call things for what they truly are. As I always say, you know, there is a positive in every possible challenge, but Monday is really one of the more disharmonious days, especially when it comes to emotions. The first day of October, basically that's Tuesday, the transit moon is in Scorpio, and this is the only planet that will make major aspects. Now, the good news is that all of the major aspects are actually harmonious. We are having trine with Neptune, and we have 2 sextiles with Saturn and Pluto. So this is really fluently moving energy. And it can still, you know, bring the tension of the Scorpio sign, making us more sensitive, more vulnerable, you know, but at the same time, the positive aspect with Neptune can really increase our intuition, can help us to be more creative, to invest more emotions into the things that we are doing. And also for some spiritual practices, this is a beautiful combination. It could be a meditation, it could be some kind of purification, even on a physical level. So, you know, just trust your instincts and follow your intuition. The other positive aspects that the moon is making are sextiles with Saturn and Pluto, which are both in Capricorn. And this can help us to actually take some action and do some real work. You know, Pluto and Saturn are in Capricorn, the sign which supports real, hard, consistent work. So we can actually be productive on Tuesday and take care of some important things. The 2nd of October, Wednesday, we have one positive minor aspect between Mercury and Mars. This is an aspect which can help us to express ourselves more openly, to be more direct, to be more honest, and also proactive when it comes to communication, connection with other people, some contacts, some planning. So this can be both verbal activity, this can be, you know, more communication, but also this type of activity can be more on an intellectual level as well, meaning that, you know, we may plan something very proactively, or we may learn something new, or we may explore something new, and most importantly also we can take action related to our ideas, you know. So this can also be quite positive for business, for work, for especially when you need more direct communication, more honest communication. This is a positive aspect which can also make your mind work faster, you know. Think faster, find solutions faster, take action faster. So as usual, that's pretty nice. The other good news for Wednesday is the position of the moon, which will be in Sagittarius. So no longer the Scorpio drama, at least for this day. And this is an energy which can help you to be more open-minded, to focus more on long-term goals, to be more optimistic, more positive. Potentially, sometimes we might exaggerate things more than necessary. Sometimes, you know, we may overestimate something we want to do, or, you know, our capacity of the things we can do over one day. But after all, it's really, you know, it's very positive, it's very, very uplifting energy that we have on Wednesday. The 3rd of October, Thursday, that's really the most intense day during this week. Pluto turning direct, Mercury ingressing in Scorpio, Pluto sign, and Mars ingressing in Libra. So all of that happening at the same day. Lots of dynamic, you know, lots of intensity and lots of shift. We kind of talked about it. If you have missed it, you can go back to the beginning of the video. I talk in details about each of those, changes. Also, you can listen to the monthly horoscopes to see how those changes are affecting your own zodiac sign. And overall, just prepare, for the shift. Be aware of the deep transformational processes that are happening around us, within us, and everywhere, and use it to make a change that's important for you. Also, the transit moon is in Sagittarius on Thursday, so there is some kind of uplifting energy around us, positive energies, inspiring energy that can help you to focus on some long-term goals or exploring something, maybe a new concept, maybe a new knowledge, to be more optimistic about the future, and after all, to take some action, because that's a fire position of the moon. The 4th of October, Friday, two interesting Mercury aspects. We have a quintile with Saturn and square and a half with Neptune. So those are kind of, extremely different energies. From one side, Saturn brings more logic, brings more concentration, ability to focus on practical, material, concrete things. And on the other hand, the Neptune impact can bring more imagination, more creativity, but also can blur things a little bit, can bring some kind of confusion, because we have a challenging aspect with Neptune. So this might be kind of a mess, but this is always an opportunity, if we use it wisely, to be inspired, to have this imagination, this creativity, and then put it into a concrete form. Do something meaningful with that. Do something, visible. Put it into a concrete form. So it can really be a very interesting, very creative combination, which can also bring visible results. The quintile with Saturn is also an aspect which can bring some kind of shift. Maybe we need to change something about our logic. Maybe we need to look at things from a different perspective. Maybe, we just need to be more open-minded. So be ready, to welcome this shift and to use it in a productive way. The transit moon will also make a shift during this day. Until noontime, Eastern time, it will be in Sagittarius. So things may happen faster for us, we may feel more inspired, more productive, more optimistic. And around noon, the transit moon ingresses in Capricorn. So from one side, things might become a little bit more kind of, fixated in a way, or we may, feel like, oh, it's time to focus on some work, or we have so many things to take care of. So, the second half of Friday can actually be very good for focusing on some kind of obligations, focusing on some kind of responsibilities, which are not always that fun, but they are important, and we really have to keep our promises. So, as we said, this may not be that fun and that joyful, but we may take care of some important things during the second half of Friday. The 5th of October, Saturday, Mercury with another interesting aspect, this time with Jupiter. We have a semi-square, which is a minor challenging aspect. This aspect can help us to change something also, especially when it comes to our long-term plans, our goals, or to learn something new, to put effort into learning something as well. So this is an aspect which also requires more alignment between our long-term goals and the small steps that will take us there. So are those, you know, small things that we are doing on a daily basis aligned with our future goals? We might realize that there needs to be a change, and that can be positive as well. Also, the mind can be focused on too many things at the same time. Sometimes we may lose our focus when Jupiter hits Mercury in this way. On the other side, the transit moon is in Capricorn, and this position can help us to kind of, you know, be more in touch with reality, be more present, be more focused on the really important things, on our responsibilities, on our work, our obligations. So even though that's, you know, a weekend and, you know, we are, most of us, supposed to, you know, relax, well, actually the energy is more positive for doing something. So even if you're at home, just do something that you have procrastinated, you know, fix something, prepare for next week, whatever is important for you. And the 6th of October, Sunday. The only major aspects are those of the moon, which is still in Capricorn, and basically the really important one is the conjunction with Pluto. Through the whole week we had some Pluto energies around us. Pluto turning direct, Pluto squaring Venus, Mercury ingressing into Pluto's sign, Scorpio, the moon in Scorpio at the beginning of the week. And now that's the final connection that we have. The moon touches Pluto in Capricorn. So there can be lots of focus, lots of concentration, diving deeper into something. For example, if you are learning, this can be a great time to really see through things and get to the core idea of something, you know, something that you haven't realized so far. So that's the positive side, you know, diving deeper, having you know, a deeper understanding about something. That's the positive side. On the challenging side, we might get kind of obsessed with something, or we might exaggerate sometimes, you know, the importance of something. There might be possible power struggles or even confrontation. So just, you know, try to navigate this energy and use it in a constructive way. Always the best idea to do an energy practice, a short yoga practice, other type of meditation work, whatever works for you. Transform it, let it flow, but also kind of, you know, try to control it and use it for something constructive. That, my friends, was the weekly horoscope. Thank you very much for listening. If you want to connect and, you know, be more inspired on a daily basis, I would also like to invite you to follow my Instagram account. I will put the link below. Let me know how you're feeling during this week with all of those Pluto's energies. What's the most important one for you? And let us connect through the comments. Thank you very much and take care.